Okay, one more wild food to look at here. Very abundant right now, just coming out into flower, so it makes it easier to spot. So as we come down here, you spot a few of these yellow flowers. Okay, let's lift one up for you. This is a yellow dead nettle. It's got a wonderful Latin name. This is Lamium galeobdolon. Now all of the dead nettles are edible, so you get a little purple one, which is much smaller than this usually, Lamium purpurea. You get a white one, which is a similar size to this, Lamium album, and you get this, Lamium galeobdolon. All of them can be eaten as a salad. They're called dead nettles because they appear a little bit like nettles, and the flowers on this really make it immediately obvious that it's not. But if it was not in flower, so if you were here a week ago, you would see plenty of the plants around, but you wouldn't see the flowers. You would see the flower spikes, the flower whorls beginning to form around the stem there, so they clasp the stem and form in circles between the opposite and alternate leaves. But we've also got a very, very square stem, which you don't have on a stinging nettle, and of course we've got no stinging hairs. So very, very easy one to spot. Now at this time of year, if we look closely on there, you can see a couple of little black flecks. We're about to get into caterpillar season, so all of this is going to be absolutely covered, like this stinging nettle, in caterpillar frass very, very shortly, which makes it somewhat less appealing. But at the moment, we can still get away with nibbling that straight off. It's got a slightly, I'm not sure how you would describe the flavour. Interesting, little bit. I can't really think what it reminds me of, but a very distinctive flavour and not unpleasant. Quite a lot of wild foods are quite bitter. I'm personally of the opinion that we've totally ruined our palates in the last century by eating so much sugar and salt that we now are very, very accustomed to very, very sweet and very, very salty flavours, but we don't use bitters in the same way. If you were eating a purely wild diet, I suspect, you know, historically there was a lot more bitter flavours in the food, and our palates would have been a lot more used to it. But this is quite pleasant, okay, just as it is. You can, of course, you can cook it. You can chop it up and stick it in an omelette and things like that. You can boil it and just use it as a boiled green. But for me, when it's young, I quite like it as a salad. So that is yellow dead nettle, Lamium galeobdolon. If we were looking at the other ones, and we will look at some white dead nettle, we might struggle for the purple today. We see they're very similar in terms of the identification, square stems and whorls of flowers between the foliage. So all the dead nettles are all edible.